by Indiana University coach Mike Woodson, and the three players, our left, Race Thompson, Miller Kopp, and Trace Jackson Davis. And we'll start with opening comments from the coach. Thank you.
You got to give Miami a lot of credit, but they played their butts off tonight. It was a well-coached game, and I thought that they were the better team. They showed it the first half and second half. I thought when we got back in it, we didn't do the things to put us in position once we got the lead to win this game. So you got to give Miami a lot of credit. They played their butts off.
We'll open it up for questions for the student athletes up here in the front.
Zach Osterman, Indianapolis Star. I guess for you three, just what got you back in the game, got you that lead early in the second half, and what did you feel like kind of got away from you as Miami came back into it?
I just think that what got us back in the game is we were playing hard on the defensive end of the floor, and we were kind of getting some quick baskets, quick screen and rolls, quick point to post, stuff of that nature. And our defense was leading the offense, and then kind of got away from us. They hit a few tough shots. They hit some shots. They got some rebounds on the offensive end of the floor that got them extra possessions. And then when you get down 8-10, you got to press, and they're a really good team when you're going in transition. And so that's when the game started getting out of hand.
Up here in the front.
For Miller or Race, you guys kind of had to struggle your way through that first half, but then Miller hit that big three at the end, and then Trey came out and hit one. When you got ahead 42-40, I mean, where were you at mentally in your mind? Did you feel like you were back where you needed to be, where you could take it from there, or no?
No. We were super confident. We came out, made a run, punched first, and that's what we wanted to do coming out of halftime. So for us, we were feeling really confident. Putting Trace in a good position to share the ball on attack, and we just didn't keep that up.
For Trace and Race, Miami had 20 offensive rebounds. I mean, how difficult was it to try to get that contained, and why do you think it was difficult to get it contained?
They're great offensive rebounding team. They got athletes. They would shoot shots. Everyone was crashing. They didn't have guards getting back. Everyone was going to get the ball. Omir played really well on the offensive glass too, bringing energy and wedging people under, myself included. And so they're playing relentless on the glass. And so they punished us, and that's what they did, honestly. So.
Further questions for the student athletes? Over here on the left. Thank you. Row 3.
Trace, you were getting noticeably emotional as the end of the game came to a close. When you think about your last 4 years as a Hoosier, what kind of comes to your mind? What do you think about?
I just think about just being part of the change, really. Just 2 years ago, we were getting booed in our home city, in Indianapolis, off the court at the Big Ten tournament, and just being in this moment 2 years later. It's really special. It's really special to me to have the Indiana fans on your back and just cheering for you and giving them hope. Something that this program hasn't had in a while, and I just thought it was really cool to be a part of that and be a part of that experience. And I know this guy right next to me is going to make sure that things stay in the right direction.
The start of the second half was good.
I'm sorry. Once again, ID.
Rick Bozich, WDRB in Louisville. The start of the second half was good. The start of the first half wasn't. You fell behind 13-3, and I think in a sideline interview, Coach Woodson said you guys were complaining too much, and it was a big-time basketball game, and you needed to play harder. Did you feel like you didn't play hard enough early on?
Yeah, I just think that they got off to a quick start. We didn't play well to start the game, and then going into the second half, I think that we kind of punched first. I think at the end of the first half, we got, I think it was maybe a run of 5 where we cut it to 5, and then we punched first, started the second half, and tried to carry that momentum out, and then kind of was back and forth until they kind of sprung out again. And so there was definitely complaining, but we're just competitors. We're trying to compete, and so it happens.
Thank you to our student athletes. Thanks for the time this weekend. We'll open it up now for questions for Coach. We'll start up front here.
Mike, what's the, Tom Bruce, Sports Illustrated, what's the hardest part of the suddenness of this ending for you?
This one is tough to swallow because I truly believe that this team had a legitimate shot. And as a coach, I put so much pressure and heat on myself to get teams over the hump. And so, I got to take some responsibility for this one tonight, even though we didn't play nowhere near where I thought we should be playing. You got to give Miami a lot of credit, man. They played extremely well tonight. And, when I look at the stat sheet and look at the paint points and the rebounding, that's just not Indiana basketball. And that's where the game was won. And yes, we were complaining a lot, and you can't do that in big-time college basketball games. They let you play, and you should want to be in that position to be let to play. And we didn't compete. They were the better team tonight.
Go ahead.
Keegan Nixon with the Hoosier.com. Coach, it's a new age of college basketball, and obviously this loss really stings. But how long do you take before you start hitting the transfer portal, roster building, all those kinds of things?
Well, I'll sleep on this tonight and get up tomorrow and start a fresh day. Start trying to figure out how we can get better for next season. I'm not taking anything away from our season. I told the guys in the locker room how much I love them and respect them for playing for me this year. And the kind of season we had was a promising season. We had a good year. We made a step forward based on where we were a year ago. But it's not good enough as far as I'm concerned. It's not. We got to get better from a personnel standpoint. And I got to get better as a coach. It's just that simple.
Coach, Mike Schumann with the Daily Hoosiers. Since you've been here, you've played through Trace Jackson Davis, and it's obvious why you did that. I'm just curious, though, looking forward, is it your intent to be more of a perimeter-focused team, or what are your thoughts about your preferred style going forward?
Well, it depends on the personnel. When I was in New York, Trace Jackson Davis is the first center that I've ever coached in my career where I had to utilize my center as a post-up player. But Trace has gotten so much better just being a post-up player. He's a basketball player now. And I like to think that my staff and I have had a lot to do with that. He has gotten so much better in so many different areas. But it's the first time in my coaching career that I've had to coach a young man starting out on the block and expanding his game. And I don't know where we're going to be next season in terms of how our style of play will be. But we got to get better. I do know that.
Mike, I know you've talked about what it is that freshmen have to go through during the course of a season, and even 34 games in, Jalen really struggled early coming out of the gate tonight. How much of that was nerves and stuff and him not just getting comfortable early enough?
I don't know. I don't know if I call it nerves. We just didn't play well. We did a lot of things tonight that, from an offensive standpoint, we didn't sacrifice the next pass. It was like individually I had to beat you. I got to do it myself instead of doing it as a team. There were a number of times we could have made the next pass, and we didn't do that. And then defensively, I told them at halftime, we gave up 40 points, and we hadn't done that a whole lot this season. Normally we're sitting on top. And I told them if we gave up 80 points, you would have a tough time beating this team. And we gave up 80-some points, which wasn't good.
Go ahead, second row.
Hi, Michelle Coughlin from the Miami Herald, right here. The UM team feels that sometimes they're underrated, underappreciated. What do you think is sort of the national perception of that team, and you know, what kind of respect do you think they have, or do you think that they're a little bit underrated?
Ma'am, I'll tell you this. I never go into a game thinking a team or looking at a team that you might think or somebody might think is underrated. I respect all coaches and all teams. And you go in with that attitude, you won't be very successful in this sport. You know, that coach has done a hell of a job with that team for many, many years. And that team tonight competed and played their asses off. And that's why I'm sitting here going home and they're moving forward. So I have nothing but respect for every team that we play. And that team was pretty damn good tonight.
Last one, go ahead.
Griffin Epstein, the Hoosier Network. Coach, Trace Jackson Davis's final game tonight. What does he mean to you and this program?
Well, it's been a lot to this program. I mean, I don't think we're sitting here today if it wasn't for Trace Jackson Davis. You know, he could have left 2 days after I got the job, but he decided to stay on board. He worked his butt off. I pushed him on and off the court, and a lot of nights and days it wasn't pretty for him, but he got better. He benefited from it, and our team benefited from it. So I wish him nothing but the best moving forward. Him, Miller, and Race, who gave us all they could give us, you know what I mean? And it was fun times coaching them guys this season, but they're going to move on, and I got to figure out our next move as far as our program and moving this program forward.
Coach, thank you for your time with us this weekend.
Thank you, guys.
Safe travels home. Before we have some closing announcements, thank you to